you all actually ended on a very great note, which segues, I think, perfectly into the topic that we're about to dive into. So perhaps we'll be able to actually answer some of the questions that the audience had once we get into the discussion. But just to start off the conversation, obviously, traditional shopping has been characterized by physical places where customers would directly come and see the product or service they wanted to have and then purchase that. And technology, the rapid growth of technology has completely transformed the way this is done within physical stores also, but also we have these online platforms which has just emerged and changed the way the shopping experience has to become more personalized, more efficient, and more immersive also. So without further ado, let me get into the conversation and welcome our panelists. The first thing I would like to actually ask you, when you were given this topic, this incredible topic, what was the first thing that sort of went through your mind? Like, what are your opening thoughts about it? And we can start with Ms. Aggarwal, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kriti. I'm co-founder of StoreHippo, an enterprise-based SaaS e-commerce platform, just like Shopify. And Mystore, which is an ONDC-connected marketplace, we are the front runners on the network, both from the seller and the buyer side. We, in fact, are disrupting our own business models by coming up on Mystore and connecting with ONDC. Definitely, when the topic was given, I was pretty excited because the data and the retail segment, I think it's very important for any retailer to be present omni-channel. Not only in-store, but they need to have online presence and they need to cater to the customers on different touch points, be it towards the in-store, online, their own D2C platform, or the marketplaces. Now coming up to the ONDC network, it again is very, very important for any retailer, any brand, anybody who is selling to come on the network. There are primarily 3-4 points which I can put forward to you guys. Firstly, once you are catering to your customers who are coming to your store, definitely you're creating the touch point. But yes, through D2C store, again, that's the second touch point. Thirdly, through aggregators or the marketplaces like Amazon or Flipkart, you're creating the third touch point. And now on the network, you're not only catering to tier 1, you're catering to all the tiers, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 customers. So it is very important to, cater to customers at pan-India level. So through ONDC, you will be catering to 90 crore buyers, not only in India, but at global front also.
Thank you. That was definitely very informative. Mr. Saraf, what was your initial reaction when you heard this topic and from hearing what your co-panelist has spoken about?
This is Raghunandan here from Saraf Furniture. So the first thing that came to my mind when I read about the topic was what technology is doing is creating a willingness to buy in the consumer. So as a consumer, they are going to buy, they want to buy. This is how it functions. A seller is selling and consumer is buying. But how technology is helping is they're creating a willingness to buy among the consumer for things they might not even need right now, but it's creating a lot of willingness, a lot of impulse buy as well. And that is the biggest impact of technology, I believe.
Absolutely. Since we've touched upon the customer already, of course, they're one of the most important part about retail. Let me ask you, follow up on this, Mr. Saraf, if that's all right. How do you ensure that the technology that you're embedding into your system is increasing the customer or bettering the customer experience as opposed to disrupting it? And if I can also ask, can you share any kind of story or anecdote where you were as a customer or you as a retailer were trying to use this technology and it didn't have the intended effect that it was meant to?
The kind of technology that I as a seller would want to adopt is the one where consumers already are. So I am not the one who's deciding which technology to adopt or where to invest my time, effort, and money. It's where consumers already are. What are they adopting, and I need to be there before somebody else does. And as for examples where we tried to do something and it didn't work, there has been a few at a lot of places. It could be with the initially when we talk about Shopify. I've been a Shopify user since about 13 years now, and so we talk about back then. There was a lot of there was a lot of roadblocks where we didn't have the right set of features there, but it was the enabler. That's where it all started. But there are a lot of things I come across where we think that it could have been better, but since the technology is not there yet, we can't.
Now, that makes perfect sense that you are trying to ease the experience for the customer the way they want to experience the shopping on your platform. Ms. Aggarwal, the same question to you. How do you kind of go about this when you are trying to implement new technology, and what kind of experience have you had?
Ever since we have built our platform, StoreHippo, we have kept in mind the technology part. We have the very latest stack in place so as to meet our business requirements, our clients' requirements. So with the e-commerce, the only constant in e-commerce is change. So I believe with changing times, I think we should be able to our customers with the technology that they need. So, so our platform is quite scalable, quite flexible to meet all the technologically related requirements that our clients have.
Absolutely. And, this was a kind of a topic that, that was mentioned in the earlier panel too, but how do you kind of maintain the balance between, having all these technologies in place, but also having the personal touch with your customers?
Technology and personal touch go hand in hand. I don't think any one can be missed out, because technology is something, for example, let's take an example of chatbots. So if you are building a website, you have chatbot in place, so the initial few questions that a customer might have while coming to your website can be answered by a chatbot. And when there is a human intervention required, they can definitely go to the support mechanism of that website and get all the answers, of their queries.
Absolutely. Mr. Saraf, same question to you.
Okay. So the technology and the personal touch, the expectation from both will vary with what a consumer is about to buy. So if I'm buying a digital thing online, I won't want any personal touch there. But for example, if somebody is buying a piece of furniture from us, technology would make the process easy for the customer. They would want it to be as easy and convenient as possible. But ultimately, to generate that trust, to generate that connect with the product that the customer is buying, that's where the personal touch comes in.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Now, getting a little bit more into the technical side of the conversation, I'll put this question out to both my co-panelists and, whoever would like to answer first, please, by all means, go ahead. But how can retailers best leverage big data analytics to make informed decisions and improve their operations? And what kind of challenges have you specifically faced when trying to use these technologies?
So I think this is a very interesting question. Big data plays a very, very important, pivotal role in giving a consumer the best buying experience. I think depending on the data, you can create the personalized journeys for the end consumer. You can actually anticipate the demand of the product before even, months before, depending on the data that you had last month or previously. And then you can also do the price comparison between the competitors and then come up with your own pricing. So I think data plays a very, very important role for any business to grow their revenue and generate more sales.
That's to add to that, big data, I believe it has led to micro targeting of to the segment. So you can actually do the deepest possible targeting, to reach which customer you want to reach, and at the same time, it also helps forecast better for you as to what to expect. And one thing which I've been noticing in a way is that big data also helps in customer retention a lot, because you know everything. Somebody who's bought, what made him buy, and the others who came to you but didn't buy, what didn't make them buy. So using that data, you can also have a lot of customer retention if you analyze it better.
What are the other concerns surrounding big data? Because of course, data is something that people can be, protection of data is also a big concern of a lot of people, and there can be challenges, navigating so much data. So can you speak a little bit about that too?
Talk about data privacy. So we as a consumer, we are the one who's sharing that data. I am sharing my data there. I'm doing it myself. I'm putting it out there. So while putting it up, I'm not saying, okay, this is for the sellers to use to target me to the sales, but I'm the one who put it there, willingly. So what made customers so much protective about the data is the news that comes up, about data theft and the hacking and putting their information available to other public. But as a seller, as a seller, as the industry, the seller is not focused on using that data in any other sense at all. They just want to use. A seller wouldn't even know what exactly the kind of data they have. The machines, the technology is crunching it and crunching it. So it has to be seller has to be responsible about this. That if a customer is sharing that data, it should be used for that purpose only, and that's it.
And to add to that, I think we need to have compliances in place. So, for example, at StoreHippo, we are ISO compliant. We are, we have all the protections to ensure that the customer data is protected completely.
Absolutely, and I think you've made actually some good points here that the intention of the retailer is not to kind of abuse that data in any way. They're gathering it for their own engines, and generally what we hear about in the news is more of the cyber attacks, hacking happening. There was news about, banks having data leaks recently, almost all the time that comes out. But that's not the sense, but as consumers, we do need to be careful. It's very easy to just say, yes, accept all cookies without realizing what that actually means for our data, for our systems that we are using. But it's not an easy message to kind of get out there. But that being said, since we are talking about targeting customers, I think social media, of course, and all kinds of mobile technology has completely impacted the way engagement has happened. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Like, how do you engage with customers using mobile tech and social media?
Yes, absolutely. So the mobile commerce and social commerce, I think they have completely changed the e-commerce landscape in more than, I'll say last 5 years, and COVID has further accelerated this move. So I think from the retailer perspective, I think mobile commerce plays a very pivotal role. They need not only have mobile apps, both iOS and Android, they need to have PWS sites which can work in the offline mode as well. So along with that, along with mobile commerce, social commerce comes into play where actually their customers are. So they need to understand their customer buying journeys, their need, what they want and how they want. So I think both plays a very important role and for a retailer to cater to their customers and ensure a very seamless buying experience.
I think what social media has done is given an audience to everybody. So earlier, like if I have to advertise, there was TV, there was newspaper, print media and all. So they had their own audience. Now every brand can create their own set of audience, which they can advertise to readily, whenever they want to, on their channels or page. Similarly, every consumer has his or her own audience also. So if I have, say, 10 friends or 500 friends or 1,000 followers, they are my audience. If I want to voice my concern or anything, I have my own audience. So social media has given an audience to everybody, the seller and the consumer as well.
Can you share any specific strategy that you yourself have employed to kind of get more retention from your audience?
So initially what we sort of did was we tried to tell customers about the product, not that our product is the best, not the price, not educate customer about the product, about what it is made of, what this furniture is made of. If it's made of this, what happens, how is it better than any other material? So this is how we started by engaging customers, giving them more and more information, making them ask questions which they don't even know, they were supposed to know about the product. So we tried to create that curiosity about the product itself, not necessarily our product, but in general, the furniture. This is so that's how we try to engage more customers wanting to know about the product itself, and that worked well for us. That kind of made them realize that okay, if this is the right thing to buy, if this material, this is probably the right thing to buy, and where to buy is like, well, let's buy from Saraf.
That's a really good strategy. Thank you for sharing that with us. But let me ask you a little bit more about, because we are on the topic of emerging technologies, right? So emerging technologies, the thing that you hear about the most is robotics and automation, of course, is one of a very key word that floats around. Can you tell me, what are the most promising aspects of robotics and automation in retail?
Definitely. In retail, the automation and robotics play, again, a very important role because you cannot do everything manually. You definitely need some kind of an automation to streamline the whole e-commerce chain. E-commerce has many components. So I think through automation, you can actually streamline your supply chain management, your inventory management, and your order management. So starting from the supply chains, starting from dispatching a product to delivering a product, I think you can track your orders through, if your system is automated. In inventory management, now a retailer is present on different channels. They have an omni-channel presence. So they need to maintain, need to sync their inventory through a single admin dashboard to reduce the time and increase the efficiency. And thirdly, the order management, so as to have your customer, to actually satisfy your customer and improve the order management skills. I think for all three of them, the automation is required to reduce the cost, to increase the efficiency of any business model.
Absolutely. Mr. Saraf, can you also tell us about how do you think robotics and automation can kind of add to your own personal business growth?
So I believe robotics and automations are the first thing anyone would need to scale. If scaling is it's your journey in your journey to start scaling, the first thing you would need is to automate as much as possible, be it the process, be it the personnels, or the logistics, or the fulfillment. So and nowadays, this is where you start from. You don't start. This is what is the new scratch. I believe that you have to start with automating things.
Absolutely. What about blockchain technology? How is it transforming retail?
The only thing that comes to my mind with blockchain is Bitcoin, and I also. But it's far broader than that, and it's far bigger than that. And honestly, I probably am not the right person to because to me blockchain is Bitcoin. So I'm really sorry if I wouldn't know more about it.
I think Ms. Aggarwal can probably take that.
I'll also so in e-commerce, I think blockchain has not come that much. The technology has not come to that extent that everybody is adopting it. But yes, the potential is huge to have a transparent mechanism, transparent transactions, and definitely it can improve the supply chain further.
Absolutely. Now, let me also ask you, we are talking about so many different emerging technologies. Some maybe I haven't even mentioned. Every day I'm scared I've missed something. This morning I was checking the news. Has something come up? Are we missing something? Are we going to be able to have a whole conversation on this? What is the most exciting technology for you? Like, what is the one technology that you are absolutely looking forward to integrating that already exists, and maybe something that you hope will someday exist? Both of you, just think about it for a moment.
A technology can make a customer pay the moment he clicks on checkout.
No, definitely the things have streamlined so much in e-commerce, and I believe that ONDC will further revolutionize the whole thing and make India more democratized, more people coming into it. I'll just tell you one thing, that through ONDC, we ourselves on Mystore could get farmer producers who are present in tier 4 sector to come on board and start selling online. So I believe me, it's a remarkable journey so far, and I think the government of India is doing, really a remarkable movement they have come up with to get all the producers also online.
And also, tech has also created the situation where people are really worried about employment, and I know that that was something that was mentioned in the last panel too, finding the right people, not having the right skilled people. How does that kind of concern you as people who are running a retail business?
I think with technology, technology is changing, and I think all the retailers need to evolve and adopt technology. I don't think that, and there is a scope for everyone to grow. So once you are, associated with a technology partner, I think they can guide you and help you how you can increase your customer growth. And, and I think e-commerce is doing a pretty good job in catering to customers, not only in pan-India level, but I think globally.
With every new technology that comes up, we'll always need someone to teach us about it, to train us about it, to implement this with us. So I don't see technology, replacing humans at all in the foreseeable future. But yes, everybody who comes next has to be more tech savvy. They need to know more about the technology. Yes, they should accept it like it's a part of a school or a college or something. but we will always need people, to at least understand technology better. So technology is there for the people. I mean, we're trying to come up with new things to sell to whom? To the customers eventually. So we can't do it with the human, not at all.
Do you have any advice for anyone who wants to enter the retail segment?
Not the furniture, please.
Because you've said that, I have to ask, what made you want to enter the furniture segment then?
So start with automation. I mean, let automation be the scratch, to be very honest, and right set of people around you, not just a part of your team, but around you also. I mean, they don't have to be. I don't mean your team in the business, but right set of people around you plays a big role, and you can't do without the technology at all.
Mr. Aggarwal, your advice to people who want to enter the retail segment?
So again, as I said, that it's very important to keep a tap of technology within the times you are in. I think be present. There is a need to be omni-channel, to be present everywhere. I think if you are not doing that, definitely you are missing on to a lot many things. But yes, technology and human touch point both goes in hand. There is a balance that needs to be created, and that is required to grow for any business model. I believe both the things are equally required. It's just about how you want to pivot your business model and cater to your customers' needs.
Absolutely. I think now we can actually open questions from the audience. If anyone has any, we can take maybe one or two. I think there's someone in the back who raised their hand. Can we get the mic there?
I'm Nitin. I'm in the process of starting up a D2C brand. So I'm here just to gather insights. As a customer, I'm really a huge fan of Hippo Store. Now, I want to know...
Sorry, sir. So to interrupt in between, we are not from Hippo stores, we are from StoreHippo, which is an enterprise e-commerce platform.
Oh, sorry. Absolutely. So I wanted to know, when it comes to automation, can you give me some insights into how the app that you develop, what you should be looking at? You should be looking at the service providers, which are your interface, or for the customers. What should be the guiding principle while developing the app?
First of all, we have a platform. We'll start with a D2C store, and we have 120 plus integrations along with what we provide on an e-commerce platform. So if you are looking for automation towards the ERP side or from CRM, we have 120 plus integrations. So we make sure that our retailers who are coming online get a seamless experience on StoreHippo e-commerce platform. If that answers your question, sir?
Partly.
Okay.
It answers me partly because I was thinking that while your app addresses the retailers and vendors, so to say, it doesn't open up to customers. So, like, I just wanted to know why you're focusing on this particular channel and not reaching out to rest of the customers where they can also buy from you.
But sir, we are not a marketplace. We are an e-commerce enabler.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else with a question? Oh. Sir, can you wait for the mic so that everyone can hear the question? We'll have a question from you and then from the sir in the front.
Hi, thank you for the insightful things. I'm Kapil. My question will be in generic sense related to technology when it comes to the data migration. When there are many small owners who are using the SQL server and various other techniques, how can this be seamless when it comes to big data? And second is, when
Sir,
we
please, one question for now,
Okay.
so that everyone gets a chance.
Yes.
Data migration can be completely seamless. So I am really not sure. I mean, if you can make your question, just reiterate your question. So on StoreHippo platform, you're using the latest technology, that is the Mac stack. Mac is like completely API-based stack, and we are completely headless. So we vouch for it. If you want to migrate from any other platform, we provide you seamless features to migrate your data.
I have two bad experiences. One is that in one case, two of my items to be delivered to me, one was delivered, the other was not undelivered. It was stolen on transit. And when I took up with, it was Amazon. When I took up with them as to what has happened to it, they said, we are supplying you another. That will take care. I will supplying you another. The another they sold to me at enhanced rate of cost. I said, why? So then, what will be your, resolution
So
to it?
look, so in e-commerce there are many moving parts. So it's not only, I'm not sure about Amazon, but if I talk about my platform or on my store, ONDC front, there are many moving components. There is a seller, there is a seller app, there is a buyer, and there is a buyer app. So it's not, and then the logistics is also playing a pivotal role here. So I'm not sure where the things went wrong. The seller is not enabling, seller is not able to fulfill your product, there's a problem in logistics, supply chain, or there is any other problem in between. So I think just to understand, we need to, what kind of a problem we are facing, we need to see, address that particular area.
Something to it. And so you have the choice to cancel and take your.
That is not the answer, sir. I want that item, but at the same cost.
Sir,
which
but
I
I
had
feel-
If I
originally-
finish, maybe you'll find the answer, sir. So let me. So you have the choice at any given point of time to cancel and take a refund and buy that product someplace else also. So whoever is selling it to you, they want to sell as well. I mean, that's why they are there. But if you are having a problem, nobody wants that. Nobody wants you to have a problem. So you have the choice to cancel anytime you want, take your money back, buy it again there, or buy someplace else. That's how the consumer protection comes in e-commerce.
What's the difference?
No, but sir, if you
For
buy it
placing
again,
another order, I am to pay more.
You can find
That is my problem.
find another seller as well, sir.
That is the problem.
Sir, I believe this is a question you would have to ask the seller. I don't think our panelists here can solve this particular issue for
they
you.
have their own experience.
Um,
I mean, their,
Is anyone else here having a question?
Retail is very common right from the beginning, right? We are the beginners and starters of retail, just like any natural process. But the e-commerce is coming up now with strong hold everywhere. But people over here in India are still, they are not so much aware, and they are not aware of the e-commerce techniques. Now this conference is probably about how to reshape the shopping experience, which goes along with the e-commerce benefits, right? That is both. So I really wish to know what are those emerging technologies which are new to the customer as well as to the shopper, as well as the shopper with e-commerce techniques to make vis-a-vis competitive and to the advantage of saying that people who buy online, they are not getting the right kind of product they wish. So how to balance out these two things, the quality and the sale online?
so I think, ma'am, e-commerce is not very new. I think the retailers need to be omnipresent. They need to be present on different channels. They need to have their own retail presence, and along with that, they need to have their D2C site. They can be present on marketplaces like Flipkart and Amazon, and then comes into the role of social commerce, that the retailers are also present on different social media sites to cater to their customers' need. So I think the idea of e-commerce is not very new. It's just about understanding the technology and adopting the technology for your own business model. So one such example that sir is, the instance that sir is mentioning, I think one of such incidents do happen otherwise also. So it's not only about e-commerce, otherwise in retail segment also, you come up with such instances. So we have seen on our platform, on Mystore also, that people are really happy with the products that we are shipping to them. And in fact, from the tier 4 to tier 1. So the people are ordering the really genuine niche products from farmer producers, and they're getting it delivered. So I'm not sure where in the supply chain, where in the e-commerce, people are really facing the problem. And if they are facing, we are there to help them. We are there to support them. We are there. We have employees. We have whole department of support that whom we can take the grievances and solve their problem.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for answering that. I would like to just take the last minute or so for your closing comments, so we can close the session. Ms. Aggarwal, what are your closing comments?
No, I'm really happy and thank you for calling me here and giving me this opportunity to tell audience that e-commerce is emerging. And as I said, the constant, the change, it's ever changing, e-commerce is ever changing. So people need to adopt the new technology that is coming into our lives and, grow their business, grow their perspective and generate more revenue.
Mr. Saraf, what are your key takeaways from today's conversation?
That the technology and the e-commerce is as beneficial to the consumers as it is to sellers. So it is equally beneficial to both of us.
Thank you. On that note, I would like to thank my panelists for joining me today. I would like to thank the audience for engaging with us and for listening to this panel. And of course, this is being aired on our YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook pages, so anyone who wants to revisit the conversation is more than welcome to do so. Thank you.